Alright everyone, you are on Rage TV, and this is game 2, or round 2 rather, of the Invitational. The first games were played yesterday. We now have a winner's bracket and loser's bracket, and not quite sure why we're paused.
Game resumed. Paused. Game resumed.
I have no idea why the game was paused. But okay, we are back. And starting in the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to be LOL's EyeRapdYoDad with Ice. Top left-hand side, it's going to be ImNotGrayson from TryHrd and NerfMe from Starelf. Top right-hand side, it's going to be Zephyril with TryHrd's MasterMind. And bottom right-hand side, it's going to be fucking Jpxp with Nightmare. Let's take a look at what these guys have decided to open up with. It looks like there's going to be a ghost opener for Ice. Ling's coming out for EyeRapdYoDad. That's interesting. And then from Ling transition into Stalkers. Looks like top left-hand side is going... Grayson's going Zealot. I don't think I've ever seen him go Zealot before. And so has Starelf. Wow, that's really interesting. And also Starelf has decided to open with a DT opener. Okay. Really interesting. Top right-hand side, Marauder, which you don't typically see. You see a lot of sharpshooters, and that's pretty much the safer bet. And there's a Tastar coming out for MasterMind. We'll likely see Immortals later. And in the bottom right-hand side, we have Jpxp coming out with a Raven and a really early Corruptor for Nightmare. And Nightmare also going with Zealot opener too. So there's only 2 teams with sharpshooters right now. And that could make well, there is 3 teams with the sharpshooters, but that could make it really interesting for the Zealots, because now the Zealots don't really have an early counter, and the Zealots might be able to do some good damage. I mean, look at this Nightmare. He's going all in right now at EyeRapdYoDad, and you know what? I think it's going to be just fine. The Stalkers, early Stalkers, are not really that strong, and as you can see, a lot of them did die right there. And it was about an exchange. Now that the Stalkers got into position, yeah, it was close to an even exchange, but Nightmare did win on that by just a few points. And it looks like Ice deciding to go out with his Duskwing opener. And we've seen that before. Could get double Duskwing, and that's going to be really interesting, because the last time nobody really countered it, and hopefully they will counter it in this matchup. You can see some Ghosts, we can see more Corruptors. And already a ton of fighting going on, and I think that DT just went down. No, it didn't. It's still alive. And here we go, Grayson coming out, fighting like head-on against Ice, and Starelf is, Artie is backing him up. Looks like there's another Dustwing coming out, and Grayson not really able to do the damage he wanted to. It looks like Ice actually benefited from that engagement. Already the Dustwing is a little low. He's going to have to heal that up. MasterMind with almost 50 kills already on the Tastar. And the Dustwings are just going to town on MasterMind. And without any anti-air, it's going to be really hard to defend himself against this. Even a Cloak going down. I mean, really, all he has to worry about is Ravens. And with Stalker Blink, that could be a bad situation for Jpxp. He doesn't have Blink yet, but he could in the future. And he could focus those Ravens and take them out, and that'll just open the doors for Ice to continue to get kills. He's got 24 on one, 39 on the other. And usually when you get about 50 or 60 kills, that's when the Dustwing really starts to pay for itself. But until then, you have to work really hard to keep those Dustwings alive. They're a little bit clunky, kind of hard to move. And Nightmare's saying my internet sucks. I don't know why he's been having problems with internet. He did have some problems, I guess, the other day when he was playing. You could tell that he had some lag. His yeah, it might just be too much malware. I don't know. Or it could just be a 2006 computer. Needs to upgrade, buddy. Isn't that crazy? Can you guys remember back from 2006? It doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but it really was. I mean, I was born in 85. Okay, so like 90s seem like they were just around the corner. Like it doesn't even feel like we're in 2000. I still remember Saved by the Bell. I still remember TGIF. All that stuff. I mean, it's still fresh in my head. I mean, but you look, and really that was like, I mean, that was a good. The last time TGIF was on air, I think, was in 2004. And you know what's even stranger, guys? YouTube wasn't even out until 2006. So it's really not that old. I mean, YouTube is kind of fresh. And, like, if you think about it that way, your mind is just kind of like, wow, you know, you can't believe it's been, you know, that long. The time just seems to slip. And you hear older people say that all the time. I don't want to seem like an old person, but sometimes, man, you really think about it, and you're like, wow, the time really is. Just like the time in this. I mean, it's already 6 minutes in, and look at the scores. We're already in the 1200s for a lot of the scores in 6 minutes. We might even see a lot of scores go up to about 2,000, 2,500, even before the 10-minute mark. There's just so much action that's going on. And everyone's fighting hard for position. Grayson, I feel, is lacking a little bit. He's having trouble getting a good foothold in this match. But Zephyril's doing really good for himself. So is Starelf. Starelf surprisingly very effective with that ET opener. And really, Grayson is just biding his time, waiting for a good engagement. But he is sitting at 800 supply. And look, he wants to go in so bad, he just doesn't know how. And Starelf did lose that DT, so the DT did come back. And these dust storms are still doing a ton of damage. 84 kills on one, 60 on the other. Nice heal. Ooh, double seeker. It did kill one of the dust wings. And that's going to really hurt for Ice. And there is a little bit of lag back and forth, and I think it's just because of the build-up. I mean, there's 800 supply on both sides, and that's not typical in a game. And I feel like Jpxp needs to move out of the way, so that way Nightmare can come in. I think Nightmare would be able to kill all the supply here. In fact, even Grayson trying to come in and deal some damage here. Oh, the Guardian shields are so OP, and he's losing lots of units here and there. In fact, he's just lost about 100 supply. Now Nightmare is going to back out, and this is crazy lag, guys. I don't know if Thursday is going to pause it or not, but the game might even pause it. And I'm just going to alt-tab real quick and just make sure that everything's coming through on the cast really well. Yes, it is. And that's good. That means I can pause it. Hopefully I'm pulling loud and clear. And hopefully everything that needs to be on the screen is there. In fact, let's even throw up this. Boop. There we go. Just to make it look a little bit schmeezy. Now this is Game 2 from the winner's bracket. Well, technically it's Game 1. It's Game 2 from all the winners who played in Game 1 from yesterday. And so these are all the top guys playing. I mean, this is it. I'm really excited to see how this is going. So the game sound is too high on stream. Well, they probably message you because I have it blocked. So, okay. Hey, I can turn down the game sounds. Not a problem. Alright, so that turned it down to about half. Let me know if that's a little bit better for you guys. I did adjust my microphone to kind of fit for the sounds whenever I'm in a Skype call. So it should be significantly louder because Skype does reduce the sounds of the in-game. So thank you for telling me that. Hopefully now it's a little bit better.
Game paused.
Alright, so we do have a pause. Apparently someone can't move his units. And we're going to find out what the problem is. Oh, I guess it's Nightmare. He can't move his units.
Game resumed. Game paused.
Nice BM coming out from Nightmare.
Game resumed. Paused.
In the last game where Nightmare and Jpxp played, there was indeed a lot of lag. They did end up getting second place, and I don't know what to do about it, because I think it's just on Nightmare's end. I mean, none of the other players really lag. And if he can't play... No, not replay function it.
Game resumed.
I guess Nightmare's saying, don't worry guys, I'll just A-move. I don't know. I mean, there's hardly any broadcasters here, it's just me. And sometimes this just happens, guys. Sometimes, you know, players just have an immense amount of lag, and there's nothing that you can do unless, you know, they can upgrade their internet connection, or possibly even their PC. And I mean, looking at it right now, it seems like Micro's not doing too bad. It seems like his micro is there. He's not quite in front of his units. It's some secret missiles. The secret missile does go down, and that was really a tense moment for Jpxp. He almost walked right into all those units. In fact, still needs to be careful because there are now Lancers out on the field, and they could just blink right into those weakened Ravens. The DT still doing some hurt on top. And it looks like Ice is still with 2 Duskwings. He did have to revive one of them, so it's a little bit lower on kills. You can see the other one is at 129 kills. And it looks like bottom left has control of both towers. Jpxp is a little bit in the dark, as MasterMind does have control of the top 2 towers. In fact, top left and bottom right are totally in the dark right now. So it's mostly just going to be a game between top right and bottom left for now. And Ice pushing out with an early lead. Zephyril is not that far behind there. In fact, both of these teams are still very, very close. Zephyril's only about, 80 minerals behind from Ice. MasterMind is about 200 or 300. It's about, oh no, it's actually 400. So a little bit less than 400, it's like 396. And we'll see if he can pull it around and turn it around. He does have destroyers, no attacks as of yet, and no upgrades either from the base, from the first one. And you know what's really interesting is that Zephyril decided to stick with the Marauders. He's at about 1,000 minerals right now. And we'll see if he decides to tech switch to, some kind of tier 3 play, or if he's going to save up for tier 4. Now we saw tier 4 units played. We did see Nightmare go with Mutalisk last time. We did also see, I believe Minzy went with some airplay with nice scouts coming out from Grayson. Interesting choice. And we did see scouts come out for not a, oh my gosh, Nightmare, or Grayson, what are you doing? Really? Okay, and Grayson just losing pretty much all of his air supply there to pick off a Raven. Not quite sure if I agree with that choice. It feels like Grayson is not really playing competitively, because that's not a move you would typically see. I don't know why I did that. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm totally bewildered right now. Grayson is down at 1987. He's currently the lowest on the board. And killing that Raven is going to hurt Zephyril for sure, and it's going to help Ice, but picking off all those units really pushed Zephyril into the lead. And it looks like Ice now getting a Medibabe out and deciding to go with Goliath. Okay, that's really interesting. So I guess Ice has scanned the board, he sees what's coming out, deciding to go with Goliath. I don't know how that's going to fare against the Hybrid Destroyers. And Lancers are out now. You know, Goliaths do well against Lancers. Technically, they counter Lancers, but in some cases, Lancers do fairly well, and especially if they can get really buffed. Sometimes the micro ability from Lancers will outdo the power of Goliaths. But the Goliaths will do really well against Grayson, that's for sure. And maybe that's his focus. Usually he would be in here with chat so we can hear exactly what's going through his head. But since he's playing right now, he can't. And so I just assumed that he's hoping that top left will be a feed point. And in fact, if Starelf decides to go with Temple Zealots, I've seen Goliaths against Temple Zealots, and they do very, very well. So that could just be his thinking here for this one, actually. And it looks like Temple Zealots are coming out from Nightmare. And Nightmare's still pushing for a Marine heavy play, and at 15 minutes, 4 attack Marines are just not very good. Usually you should be at least at 6, and you're going to stay at 6 for quite some time. And that's because you need the upgrades for Marines in order to stay relevant. And whenever you play Marine style, you have to at least have some kind of a lead, and since he's at only 2,200, he's not going to be able to compete with a lot of the units that are out on the board. Those Goliaths have really high hit points, 3 attack already, and he's got 2 Duskwings that are going to be really great against the Temples, especially against the Marines. They do very well. So it's going to be really hard for him to get a footing. And oh no, Ice losing one of the deep Duskwings. And Ice could be in a lot of trouble. It looks like EyeRape deciding not to help, instead is attacking bottom right. And so Ice is in a position where he could have been flanked, but he wasn't. He did get into better position, and he is pushing MasterMind back. And that was really, really interesting. I think probably Artie should have been there just to make sure and put a little bit of pressure. Maybe going bottom right was a little bit overzealous, I would say. But it looks like now they're both working in tandem, and they should be able to push out from middle. MasterMind does back out. Needs to heal up the Duskwing. There's a little bit of energy on Wigan. And there we go. The heal is a little bit slow. I guess it wasn't needed, but I would always heal up as quick as possible. And really surprising, Ice is deciding to go with yet another Duskwing. This one alone is at 180, and really because there's not a whole lot of counters, I don't blame him. And because he has Goliath, if Air decides to try to push in and even attack these Duskwings, they're going to get a lot of hits off. And even if he does lose a Duskwing, he could gain a lot of minerals. Grayson at a 400 supply. He's got to work to push that supply up to 80. And these Goliaths are still at 3 attack, but he is focusing on the hit point points. These Hybrid Destroyers still have no upgrades to speak of. And I don't know where he's putting his money in. I guess it's the Tassadar. Yeah, it is. Up 4. from the looks of it, the destroyers completely counter air. As far in this case, they do counter the scouts. So I'm curious to see how Grayson is going to react to this, because he's got Lancers and Goliaths on the bottom left-hand side. And he's got Lancers and the destroyers on the top right-hand side, so he's really not going to get a whole lot of food. In fact, using a savior right there, and he did pick off a few of Artie's units. Wasn't enough. He's only at 2,716. And even Starelf is a little bit behind too. I mean, this game is pretty much being taken over by Team 1. And it looks like even a Raven coming out for RD. EMP goes down on MasterMind's units. And look at this. This is crazy. How is one Ghost and 2 Dustwings able to push back that entire army? That is insane. And it seems like whatever strategy that Ice is employing, it is working. And I'm really surprised that there aren't more Vikings out on the field, or even Corruptors. There was a Corruptor earlier for Nightmare, but perhaps he just feels like he's lagging too much that he won't be able to micro it. And even so, there's no other Vikings. And even surprising, there should be some Vikings, considering that even Artie just got Raven, and there's even Ravens for bottom right. Well, all teams except for top left have Ravens. So if anything, top left could get Vikings. They could get 2 Vikings each. And it will really help against pushing back top right and bottom left. It will help give them a little bit of food. Seeker Missiles, not too bad of splits, but he still lost a few units there. And it looks like Ice was able to get rid of Jpxp's Raven. In exchange, Jpxp did kill the Dustwing. And there we go. There's the second Raven for Artie. I'm really surprised that there aren't more Vikings out in the field. And a Viking army would go really well with Grayson's air point. In fact, maybe even throwing a Medivac in there just for good measure. But the Viking would be so good. Nice cloak there at the last second. And he is backing out because he doesn't want to get stormed. But it looks like Artie and Ice might have a good position to push back MasterMind. Instead, it looks like Artie trying to go in and do some damage to the Goliaths and Jpxp. And this is where you can see Lancers dominating Goliaths if they just have better micro and better upgrades. And for sure they do. Even though they're a counter, the Stalkers are still very powerful and can attack Goliaths head on. Nice Seeker Missiles. Uh-oh, Artie's units could get trapped here. It does blink out. Dustwings are just going to town on Nightmare's units. And Nightmare's Marines are still very low. Four attack ups, no range upgrades, so they only have 4.5 range. And that's going to really hurt him. Just doesn't have enough money, it seems. And he doesn't even have any upgrades for the Temple Zealots. Bottom right could be in a lot of trouble. And as you can see, Nightmare pretty much just sits in the base. There isn't really a whole lot that he does. He must just be lagging terribly. Seeker Missiles do go down on MasterMind's units. Ghost comes in and EMPs, but he might have overextended himself. And wow, able to get away at the last second. Still doing a lot of damage to the Dustwings. There's no energy on these Dustwings, and that could be for 2 purposes. 1, he was just using Cloak so he can get some damage off, or 2, to avoid the feedback from Tesla. There's some back and forth going on from Zephyril with top left, and Grayson now has a decent supply. Had a decent supply. It's down to 473 now. And anytime you play air, you do have to try to maintain at least 400 left. Artie's doing so well for herself. 7,167, Ice at 6,600. And they've passed top right tremendously. Artie with good position. MasterMind holding middle. MasterMind is definitely still a really big threat. That TryHrd is level 4, but it could get to level 7 in no time. And if it does, it can deal a lot of damage. Level 0 is for Starelf. We do have one attack on the scouts. It does have the full Merc upgrades. These Lancers, though, are at level 8, and they also have full Merc upgrades. Looks like Ice is at 4-4. And he has everything except for multi-lock, which is interesting considering that top left does have air. But if you think about it, I mean, Ice hasn't really engaged Grayson very much, and he's the only air out on the field. So I kind of like that he didn't choose to go with the anti-air. MasterMind did pick off Ice's Ghost. A nice blink in from Artie. He's got a good surround on these units. Maybe not a surround, but a concave for sure. And good engagement so far. Ice's air style is very strong. And they're pushing into top right. And it looks like Jpxp might be coming from the bottom right to deal a little bit of damage. He did focus the Ravens and didn't get a kill. And there's a Mando coming out, level 1, Jpxp, and it looks like the Temples are trying to engage. But they're engaging on the high ground, and look at the concave from Ice. That is just pure feed that's coming at him. And look at the points from Ice and Artie just skyrocket. And no, Ice should not be engaging this. This does back out for now. Scan does go down. Bottom right still has both of their saviors. Looks like we have a support tower coming out from Zephyril, which is interesting to say the least. Why would he go with support tower? He doesn't have any Marines, so we won't see any call downs. And in some cases, just going an anti-unit tower is better. It even has more energy, so you can get more scans off. It's a little bit more efficient. And it looks like Artie is still going to try to engage bottom right, picking up a lot of units from Nightmare, keeping that supply very low. It's at 338 right now. And Ice and Artie have a really good supply build. Going to be able to hold middle for quite some time. In fact, Ice is at max. If you look, he's at 791. Grayson is just now getting towards his max, 726. And Starelf and Grayson are going to have to work together, put down some voids, and maybe Grayson will need to split the army in order to engage. And here we go, he does do just that. You don't see a void coming out. There's that void. And there we go. The void was a little bit late, and now the army cannot engage. It looks like MasterMind is in a big engagement with Ice. Ooh, nice trade. Duskwing for a TryHrd. I totally agree with that, and I think Ice won in that exchange. And I'm still surprised that there are no Vikings on the field. I think Vikings earlier would have been a pretty good pick. Oh, especially against those Seeker missiles. Oh, man. Grayson just dropped down to 561 supply. And Zephyril is going to be very happy about that. Ice picking off a lonely destroyer sitting up there in the corner. So BM. Let's just go in and fight just some dude sitting out here in the corner. He's probably just taking a piss. All of a sudden, this big old Duskwing. Oh boy. Now it seems that the Medibabe is a lot stronger, so he must have the arrow. And that's going to be great for the Dustwings. It's going to make them harder to hit, harder to kill, and they're going to be able to do a lot more damage. So I really like this kind of elite style coming out from Ice. Goliaths are steady, lots of hit points, 450 hit points, and that's contributing also to the power from the Dustwings, as well as 6 attack ups. So this army is very well rounded. Lots of ravens. And there's Grayson going after the ravens again, but look at this. Drops down to 176. Buddy, it's not worth it, man. Just stay away. I never encourage diving, especially with air units. They clump up way too much, and as you can see, the splash damage just wrecks. And that's exactly what we saw here. He just went from full supply, at least 700 supply, down to 170. And I mean, Grayson at this point is a feed corner. Same with Starelf. Jpxp and Nightmare are starting to turn into as well, as the distances from points are starting to really show. Ice and iRape are pretty much at 19,000 together for combined, and it's about 14,000 for top right. And a difference in 5,000 can be huge, guys. Nice secret missile. Commando comes back out, and Tastar comes back out from top right. And, I mean, these guys are pretty much just making their points. Ice is at near full supply. So is Artie. And they're pretty much just attacking top right, bottom right, top left. Top right, bottom right, top left. I'm just going around in a nice little circle, keeping everyone's units fairly low. And also keeping a superior position in the middle. But this is just beautiful to watch. Jpxp has lost his commando quite a few times, and if he keeps reviving it, it's just going to end up being feed. He has to be so careful with it. And he can't even come around the sides because there's an Overseer here mixed with Ravens now. 2 Ravens coming out. Could get double Seeker Missile. Also, the Duskwing is still there. So it really has nowhere to go. It can attack bottom left, but what is it going to attack? Those units are so strong. And Starelf does have the high ground advantage, but might have ran in a little bit too close. Let's see. Well, he did have some melee in front. I see some Seeker Missiles. Oh, deadly connections. And now Jpxp trying to come in and make something happen. Snipe did go down, but it didn't kill anything. Double Seeker Missile didn't kill anything there. I mean, it killed a few. But not really a whole lot. And here we go, a big engagement. Nightmare trying to make something happen. He's fighting on 3 fronts, though, and he's just going to lose his whole army here. And Nightmare, I feel like, is in a position where he just doesn't know what to do. He's not had really any luck as far as getting some good engagements off. Everybody has kept a fairly high supply. And that's kind of the problem when you play with Marines, is that you have to engage players when they have a very low supply. Because your Marines are powerful, but they can get overwhelmed. I mean, your melee line can get overwhelmed. And as soon as melee is gone, your Marines instantly become just paper. They're so weak. I mean, starting off, their hit points are 45, and he still has 45 hit points. So, literally, like, one attack coming out from the autocannon is going to pretty much wreck. It's 2 attacks, and that Marine is gone. These Lancers do 48 for biological, so if the Lancer hits it, please, it's done. And it's splashed. It's going to take a lot more than just one Marine. So I feel really bad for Nightmare right now. I love Marine players, but he just doesn't have much of a shot here, and that's unfortunate. Ice and Artie very smart to keep up a high supply. Wow. Excellent use of changelings right there, and a Seeker Missile, no less. Top right is starved for vision. In fact, wow, nice contamination, goes down, picks off the High Templar. And Zephyril able to take out a Medibabe. Now, here we finally see 6 range. Starelf's Marines are really strong now. I wouldn't say really strong, but a lot stronger, as there is 6 range. He's at 12 attack, he does have the stopping power. He is going to have to upgrade the hit points so that he can get the hit point miner upgrade, and that's going to increase the speed at which he attacks with his stim. And then eventually we'll see if he decides to go with blink power or if he goes with attack speed. And considering the strength of these armies, he might want to go with attack speed. And it seems like Ice was kind of moving right into the face of the army. Might have been a little bit of a misclick, but regardless, he did fine. I think he might have been focusing that Raven a little bit too much. And Grayson, now with a really big supply, he just has to be careful with the Secret Missiles. He's trying to split to anticipate it. Nice, really killed that Commando once again. Oh my gosh. And there we go, double Seeker Missile, just wow. Really great preemptive splits, but almost no split micro at all to anticipate the Seeker Missiles, and he's losing his entire supply every time. And that's just pushing Ice and iRapd forward. This is pretty much a clean sweep at this point. The only players that have a chance are Zephyril and MasterMind, but it's starting to look grim as Ice is about ready to double MasterMind's supply. I really feel bad for top left. This is almost, sad to say, pub level. They just don't have it today, I guess. You know, everybody has their bad days. And I don't blame them, though. I mean, Artie and Ice are fantastic players. In fact, I haven't really played against Ice much, but I do remember one game where I was doing very well against him. And right at the very end, he was able to just come out of it. Better micro, better everything. And he scooted ahead and beat us. I do believe there was only one game that we ever really played with him on heal, and I think that's the outcome. I've played several games with him, though, and he's a great partner. And this is insane. We're not even at the 40-minute mark. And EyeRapd and Ice are already close to 15,000. Well, I mean, is. Ice is close. And that's just nuts. I mean, that's constant feed pretty much the whole game. And if you notice, they don't die. They just send in a small army to gain a little bit of money here and there. A savior used. It does pick off just a tiny little bit of the army. And Nightmare's gotta be really upset. That was not a good save. Didn't pick up anything. And look at that, even changelings coming in, killing off the army. Oof. Ice has gotta be so bad. so bad. The changelings are so weak. Even the commando was killed. Nice contamination by the Overseer. And you know, this broadcast, I've played games where I've had way more excitement. It's just... there isn't even any excitement going on. I mean, this is just... well, I'm in awe. I'm just watching bottom left just wreck everything. Now, the only thing I can say is that Ice does sometimes leave himself a little bit open. Now, Starelf, if he wanted to BM really, really bad, could save up some money and get a support tower, which he does not. He has anti-unit right now. But if he had a support tower, he could drop down in the base of Ice. Could possibly do some damage. Is it going to happen? I mean, I don't think so. He still has a save. And so does EyeRapd. But, I mean, anything could happen. If he could get up to at least the 55-minute mark, I mean, do a call down, maybe like, I don't know, right at 59, 58 or something like that, and he can't get the Savior off in time, and he just happens to be outside the base, it could happen. He could totally take out that CC, just because it's left wide open. And this is just a scenario if there was no planetary. It's just, I'm noticing that he is left a little wide open. Grayson's still very low. It's surprising that all teams, considering Starelf, Grayson, Jpxp, and Nightmare, usually they would just attack their CC by this time and just say GG. But, you know, as this is a tournament, nobody wants to lose, nobody wants to quit. And anything can happen in a tournament. You never want to quit too soon. And it looks like Artie's even trying to come out with some marine play, which I kind of like. It's the 41-minute mark. The Lancers are incredibly strong. 5 armor, 12 attack ups. It's going to be much more efficient for Artie to come in and do damage with the Marines than anything. And Grayson says GG, and Starelf says my ally was trash. And I wouldn't say that, it's just, you know, the pick from Grayson was a little strange, that's all. Going scouts, it was a difficult choice. I would almost say it was blindly chosen. And it just didn't work out. Nightmare saying Starelf got easy. And Zephyril and MasterMind trying to punish top left for going in too deep. And there's no supporting army coming in, but Ice able to hold on his own. And I just heard a call down. Who called down? Oh wow, I think that was Artie trying to pick off that Tastar, but the Tastar stormed and it was okay. And look, a Savior coming out on Nightmare. Of all the bad luck. Nightmare just cannot catch a break, and he's trying to come in and do something against this army. He could even pick up the task. And no, he doesn't. Oh no, I don't know if that was misclick or what, but it seemed like he had it. But no, it still survives. And Ice coming in like a boss, just like, alright, well, I'll come in and contaminate your archives so that you can't have a spawn. And that's a really long time when you can't spawn. I mean, look at that. That's forever. Even the auto turrets trying to do their damage. Are they going to? I mean, it is getting kind of low. It's at 13 right now. It does get transfused. Which is surprising. How did it get transfused? When the only support tower is way over here. They must have, I mean, they must have increased the support tower range, maybe? Because I swear I saw a transfuse. And down goes the Temple Archives. Guardian Shield, it's not going to do much against Goliaths. Seeker Missile goes down, picking off the rest of the Lancers. Storm goes down. That was actually a nice storm. And that Task Star is level 7. I mean, if he could save up for the Archon, yeah, he could do something. He could make something happen. I mean, getting those Goliaths, he could focus the Overseer, he could focus the Ravens, even focus the Medivac, and it could be big damage against Ice. But it's very costly. The mind control was just increased to 200 energy, so it's a little risky. And this is so cute. I mean, Artie's basically attacking bottom right, while Ice attacks top right. Oh my gosh. This is just incredible. What an ass kicking. Oh. Wow. Goes down once again. And I don't think these teams can really do much. I mean, just this is so crazy. MasterMind doesn't have enough to get out the destroyers again. Zephyril just holding on by a thread, and it's only one army. This is the crazy part. Is that if you combine the totals, Ice is pretty much close to the entire team total. And Artie is way above the total combined income that Jpxp, or Bounty, and Nightmare. That's insane. Here we go, Nightmare trying to make something happen. A Savior does come out, and that's actually a really decent save. But it didn't get any of Ice's air units. And really that's the problem, is that they have strong air units. And another Raven coming out from Zephyril. I still can't believe, guys, where was the Vikings this game? Like, wow. I would love to see how this game would have turned out if, even if top left had gone with the quad Viking. There was so many Ravens out on the field. Each team had 2 Ravens. Bottom left had 4. They still do have 4. Look at this. And not a Viking in sight. I really think it would have done Ice it would have been hard for Ice to farm so much this game. Nice pushback by Artie, trying to prevent the surround, going into a choke point instead. And I like that. Even getting the high ground tower. No, actually backs out. I think he should. Just to deny a little bit of the vision, so that way, you know, top left, top right actually, is just starved. Because now they can kind of see when they're going in. It gives them the opportunity to make a move. And surprisingly, they're not. And there we go. The compound does go down. Another compound could go down shortly. And now all that's left are the command centers. And the commando dies once again. Look at Ice's 2-2, 2-2-2 score. That's brilliant. Very nice game coming up from Ice and Nightmare is not happy. He's saying A move doesn't work? Well, it can. You can attack move, you just gotta micro and pick your engagements. Marines are very tough to play, especially since the nerf Nightmare. But you tried your best, and I thought it was a good game. It was a good game to watch. And you know, in fact, Jpxp was a really good partner. He didn't block from what I saw. It was just... I just don't think that Nightmare had the best engagements, that's all. Whether it was poor timing or just smart play by the players, they did not allow for Nightmare to get any surrounds throughout the pool. Big storms coming out from top right. Killed off all of Artie's units, or all of Artie's Marines anyways. And this is what I'm talking about. The base, for me, it just looks wide open. So we're at the 50-minute mark. Next time, you know, he decides to bring in all these forces, it would be a perfect opportunity to drop, but top right did not go with Marines. Top left did, but they were eliminated. And Ice just getting every manner of elites that he can with the United We Stand, Divided We Fall upgrade. And they're just massive. A 2,000 hit point Duskwing is pretty nuts. Look at this, even getting Reapers. 12 attack Reapers. It's quite impressive. And even Zephyril coming out, and he can't sneak a kill. And see, he totally could. Look at this. Ice has left his army so wide open, and contamination down to both CCs so that they cannot save. That's it. They're going for the all-in. Even another contamination on the command center. Taken out. No save coming out from top right. And what an ending. Unbelievable from Ice and Artie. Wow. What an ending. Your winners here are going to be LOL's Ice with LOL I Raped Your Dad. Unbelievable. That was just an incredible ending. Guys, did you just see what I just saw? Because that was brilliant. Thank you for tuning into Rage TV. I'm Ragey Poo. I hope you've enjoyed this cast. There's going to be more later on tonight. Stay tuned. We'll see you later.